A 74-year-old mother opened a Mother's Day card from her daughter and read aloud, "You're a heavy burden. No one wants you here." The room erupted in laughter. 3 months later, that same mother vanished with a $400,000 secret, and the world exploded, calling her the Grace Revolution. Keep listening, because what she did next will leave you speechless. As Grace's plane lifted toward Nassau, she gazed through the window and felt she was leaving her old life behind, descending into a new world. Seated in first class, she smiled quietly. In her hand was a small notebook where she had written, "I am no longer a burden. I am the foundation." During the flight, she remembered how Danielle had never let her fly first class. "Mom, it's too expensive," she'd say. Now, Grace was there by her own choice, and she felt no shame. Upon landing in Nassau, the warm breeze, the sound of waves, and the colorful houses enveloped her. The property management agent, Mr. Roberts, a dark-skinned man with a smile like the ocean's depth, picked her up. "Welcome, Mrs. Grace. Your property is ready." When Grace saw her condo, her eyes widened in awe. 3 bedrooms, a spacious living room, a balcony with a direct ocean view, and old Bahamian paintings on the walls. This had been her mother's, her grandmother's, and now it was hers. "How long has it been rented out?" Grace asked. 50 years, ma'am. Your mother said it was only for the daughter who would understand it." Grace nodded with a smile. Her mother had never told her this property was her inheritance. Perhaps she wanted Grace to find it herself. Grace did nothing the first week. She woke early, drank coffee on the balcony, and watched the sea. She turned off her phone. Danielle, Michael, the grandkids, all numbers blocked. Now it's my turn. She decided to open a small cafe. She named it Second Bloom Cafe. It was a modest place, wooden tables, old chairs, walls adorned with Grace's own paintings. She baked herself, cookies from her mother's recipe, lemon cake, and a special tea she called forgiveness tea. People came, first the neighbors, then tourists. An elderly woman, Mrs. Ellen, came daily. She said, "There's magic in your tea, Grace. I hadn't spoken to my son in 10 years. I called him today." She smiled, served Grace, and said, "Good luck with your journey." Grace smiled. It wasn't magic. It was independence. One day, an American tourist, Ashley, posted a photo of the cafe on Instagram. Caption, "A 74-year-old woman restarted her life. This is Second Bloom Cafe, where old hearts bloom again." The post went viral. Hashtag Second Bloom, hashtag Grace of Nassau, hashtag Elderly Empowerment. Grace didn't even know. She was just doing her work. But one day, a young woman, Sarah, came to her. "Are you Grace? My mother heard your story. She's 70 and fed up with her kids. Can you meet her?" Grace nodded. The next week, 10 elderly women arrived, all with the same story. "I gave everything. Now I'm a burden." Grace formed a group, the Second Bloom Sisters. Every Sunday, they met at the cafe, shared stories, laughed, cried, and planned new lives. One day, an email arrived on Grace's old phone from Danielle. Subject, "Mom, please read." "Mom, we read the letter you left. We made a terrible mistake. The $500 stopped. We couldn't pay the mortgage. Michael quit his job. The kids' fees. We're ashamed. Please come back. We're sorry. Our home is incomplete without you. Danielle." Grace read it, then deleted it. Too late. The video was uploaded to YouTube. In 48 hours, 10 million views. The Grace Revolution trended worldwide. One evening, as Grace was closing the cafe, there was a knock at the door. Danielle stood there, eyes swollen, hair disheveled, holding the old Mother's Day card. Mom, Grace remained silent. I lost everything. The house, the job, respect. The kids asked where you were. I said you left us. Then they said, no, you left her. Grace kept the door open but didn't invite her in. The card you gave me is now on my wall, Grace said. I turned it into art. It says, I wasn't a burden, I was the foundation. Danielle burst into tears. Mom, I lost you. Please take me back. Grace took a deep breath. Danielle, you didn't lose me, because I was never yours. I was mine, and I still am. Then she gently closed the door. Second Bloom Cafe was no longer just a cafe. It was a movement. Grace launched a website, www.secondbloom.org. There, seniors shared stories, sought advice, and found guidance to start new lives. She converted part of her property into a small retirement home, free, only for elderly women tired of their children. She didn't live there. She stayed in her condo, watched the sea, and wrote every morning. One day, she received a letter, postmarked USA. Inside was a small card. Roses are red, violets are blue. You're not a burden. You're the root that grew. We're sorry, your daughter, Danielle, and your grandsons. Grace held the card to her heart, then hung it on the cafe wall, next to the first one. Now both cards hung together, one of shame, one of apology. Grace smiled. The second bloom has begun. Time magazine named Grace year's most influential senior. In the interview, she was asked, "You left your family. Don't you regret it?" Grace smiled and said, "I didn't leave my family. I found myself. And when you find yourself, the whole world becomes your family." One day, two small boys entered the cafe. "Grandma Grace!" Grace turned. Her grandsons. Danielle stood behind, eyes downcast. "We came to see you. Not for money. We just missed you." Grace hugged the boys. "Come, drink forgiveness tea." Danielle asked, "Can we come back?" Grace said, "You never left. You just stopped seeing me. Now look." Grace put $300,000 of her $400,000 into a foundation. Name, Grace's Second Bloom Foundation. Mission, financial, emotional, and legal support for elderly women worldwide. First program, From Burden to Bloom. 1 year of free housing, training, and a new beginning. Grace wrote her story. Title, I wasn't a burden, I was the foundation. The book sold 100,000 copies in the first week. On the final page, she wrote, "You are not a burden. You are the roots that grew the entire tree. Now let your flowers bloom." Danielle now worked for the foundation. She came to Nassau, lived with Grace, and helped elderly women. One day she said, "Mom, I lost you. Now you've brought me back." Grace smiled and said, "No, daughter, you found yourself." The first Second Bloom Festival was held in Nassau. Thousands of elderly women came. By the sea, music, laughter, dance. Grace stood on stage. In her hand, the old Mother's Day card, now framed. She took the mic and said, "I turned 74. I thought my story was over, but it was just beginning. This is all of your stories. From today, we are not burdens. We are foundations. We bloom again." Thousands of hands rose in the air. #2ndBloom. Grace turned and looked at the sea. The waves rose as if saying, "Welcome home, Grace, you've arrived." And Grace nodded with a smile. Yes, she was home, with herself.